right, we're here at MetLife Stadium debating Giants for our next episode of Tailgate Debates. A plethora of topics. Jaxson Dart isn't a franchise quarterback. Eli Manning shouldn't be a Hall of Famer, and many more.
Before we get into the debates, leave a like, follow us on all of our socials, and subscribe for more Tailgate Debates.
And with that, let's get into the debates.
So I'm here with Nick.
What's up, brother?
I don't believe Jaxson Dart is a franchise quarterback or will be what the Giants fans think he will be. Tell me why you think he will be that.
I mean, everything the kid has shown throughout. You watch him in college, right? You watch him in the pros. He has all the intangibles. You can't count rookie mistakes that he has. Every rookie's going to make those mistakes. Every rookie's going to put himself in a jam. Every rookie's going to have those dumb turnovers, those dumb interceptions. But he's a gamer. He wants to be on the field, right? All the weapons has been taken away from him game after game after game after game, and he's still out there slinging. He's what the Giants want and haven't had since Eli.
So I think Jaxson Dart is messy. I think he's not polished.
We're not talking about his hairstyle.
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's messy, he's not polished, he's not scripted, and I think that these things are tough to translate over a second year, over a third year, when NFL teams have a full offseason to game plan and prepare for things like that. I.e., we look at a guy like, hate to say it, like a guy like Zach Wilson, who has all the talent in the world, but you get rid of a guy like a QB developer and Brian Daboll, right?
Uh-huh.
You get rid of him, which, justified or not, they weren't winning games, so it is what it is, but you have a coach change months into his NFL career, and you're wondering if they're going to clean the rest of the house, what that does to the growth of a guy like Jaxson Dart.
So, I mean, it's a valid point, but you do have a full offseason. But don't forget, Jaxson Dart didn't come into this year as the number one starter, right? He was supposed to sit this entire season, right? That's why you bring in somebody like Russell Wilson, right? That didn't pan out. Daboll made a move to save his job. So he brought in his quarterback, his kid, right? So now that whole year to be polished is now expedited, right? It's completely moved up. The timetable's moved up, right? So now he's got to learn on a field and not sitting behind a Super Bowl QB.
But do you think it's expedited or it's now delayed because the Giants now have to get a new OC, a new head coach, probably going to get rid of Shane and get a new GM? Probably, that's just a hunch.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have to learn a new offense. Probably some new offensive weapons. Scott's going to be out the first half of next year. Malik Neighbors, who knows when he's going to be back, hopefully by the beginning of next year, but the weapons will probably look different. It's going to take some time if it does happen. And these are a lot of things that need to go right for Jaxson Dart to be able to be the guy that we think he could be, which I don't think he could be.
I disagree with that.
Why?
Because I think Jaxson Dart can form to any offense. I think he's that caliber of a player. You name me one rookie QB that came in and was completely polished, mistake-free football year one. I'll wait.
Jaden Daniels is a great example, actually.
Jaden Daniels made a load of mistakes last year.
Jaden Daniels carried a terrible team to the NFC Championship. A team that I could argue is worse than the Giants are right now. The Giants' defense, what you have on that defensive front is the elite of the elite, and they still can't buy a third win.
Wait, the Giants or the Reds or the Commanders?
The Giants now
are worse, or I don't know.
You
what
could
just said.
argue are on the same level of team as the Commanders were last year.
Yes.
Talent-wise.
And when that happens after year two with the same setup, that means you had a lucky first year. If you can't rekindle what you had over year one, that means you're not as polished as you played. Right?
That's a good point.
You played over your limit.
Yeah.
Right? He overplayed his hand last year.
Yeah.
Right? So now coming into year two, number one, injuries has not been his friend.
No, he's been riddled with...
His number one receiver has not been his friend.
Yeah.
Right?
Didn't come to training camp. Yeah.
Correct, right? Held out, right?
Right.
And then now he's been injured all season,
Right.
so we get that. But he overplayed his hand last year.
Yeah.
So all his mistakes are coming right to the top now because he doesn't have all his safety nets.
Right.
Right? So he's not as polished as we thought. And now Quinn is suffocating.
Yeah.
Right? So now Dart is a caliber quarterback that could go in, and he doesn't need all that behind him. He doesn't. He had two head coaches at Ole Miss. And still, right, we traded up for him in the first round. because he has those intangibles. He could go out there and sling it. He can go out there and gun it, right?
So I think
you're going to be comparing him. He's going to be a mix between Josh Allen and Brett Favre after year 12.
Brother, those are high praises. Too much for a guy that, frankly, like, he's been better than average. He hasn't been amazing. Granted, he doesn't have amazing weapons, but it's also not leading to wins either. There's games he's also not a closer. He's been in these close games and he's not willing them to
hold
wins.
on. He's not the closer.
He's not the closer.
Or the DC didn't close.
They're both. He's also garbage. That guy's also terrible.
Because the thing is that right. The thing is that you go out there and lead your offense to score more points than their team, and your DC doesn't know how to play press coverage.
Yeah.
Right. DC doesn't know how to play press coverage.
I'll give the DC on. I don't even know how he made it through the Dable firing.
No idea.
But man, I just don't see it.
Prevents wins.
I think the process that it's going to take with the Giants as a whole is going to outlast Jaxson Dart's rookie contract. And once that happens, it's like now you got to start paying a guy. Then you got to start building a team without.
See, you have a valid point, but does that mean that he's not a franchise quarterback, or does that mean the franchise is going to ruin their quarterback?
I think both could be the same. I think the franchise could ruin the talented quarterback, as we saw with like the Jets and Sam Darnold. Like, Sam Darnold definitely wasn't the Jets franchise quarterback. The Jets ruined him. He's good now. I think a similar thing could happen to where the Giants mismanaged themselves out of having a franchise quarterback, maybe like Jaxson Dart.
I mean, we all hope that doesn't happen.
We hope that doesn't happen.
But the caliber player he is a franchise quarterback, hands down. That's the kid I wanted. That's the kid I wanted for 2 years.
Yeah.
And we got him.
And he's showing it.
He's showing it.
Hopefully it continues.
Yep.
Nick, thank you so much.
Hey, man, it was a good time. All right, you got it.
All right, I'm here with
Cole Kelly.
All right, and Cole thinks that Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer. I have to disagree. Cole, tell me why you feel that way.
All right, well, main reason I feel that way is, the New York Giants are one of the storybook franchises in the NFL.
They are.
You look back, it's the Maras, the Rooneys, go back to the, start of it all. You got the Packers, Steelers, Giants as the, hallmark franchise in the NFL. Eli Manning is the greatest quarterback in one of the greatest franchises in the NFL.
He is. That's it? That's the argument?
Well, I mean, I don't know what we're rebuttaling.
I mean, I agree with that.
Okay.
I don't think you could argue that Eli's the greatest quarterback in Giants history. I'm with you there. I mean, who are our other options here?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, right, what the Hall of Fame is, it's a museum of the history of the NFL. Who is the greatest player of all time, undoubtedly? It's Tom Brady. Who knocked him off twice in 2 chances? Eli Manning did.
You know who else? You know who else knocked him off?
Nick Foles did it once, yeah.
Nick Foles knocked him off. Is Nick Foles a Hall of Famer?
Nick Foles didn't do it twice, but you look at the stats. The stats back it up. Eli's top 10, top 5 in almost every category from a quarterback perspective. I get at the end of the day, right, record-wise, he's a 500 quarterback.
500 on the dot.
500 on the dot. But his tenure in the league, being in the number one or one of the top 5 franchises in NFL history, knocking off the GOAT twice. The whole goal of the Hall of Fame is to tell the story of the National Football League throughout its entire history. You can't tell that story without Tom Brady being the number one, facet of that story. Tom Brady's won it 7 times. He's lost 3 times in the Bulls. Nick Foles won. It was a fluke run. Carson Wentz got him there. Eli Manning did it twice. With Tom Coughlin, with the defense behind him, we might say how the defense carried him. The defense was awesome. But when his back was against the wall and he needed to make a play, Eli came through every single time.
How many years did Eli play in the NFL?
Eli played in the NFL for 18, 19 years?
Something like that. I think it was 17, but something like that. Out of those 17 years, Eli won a playoff game in 2. 2 times Eli won a playoff game. Eli has an 8-4 playoff record. He went to the playoffs 4 other times aside from that Super Bowl.
667 playoff record.
It is, but point being, Eli had 2 seasons out of a 18, 17-year career, whatever it is, of being successful. You brought up the stats. Sure, Eli Manning is top 10 in passing yards, top 10 in passing touchdowns. During Eli Manning's career in the NFL, he led the NFL in 1 stat for a full season. You know what that stat is?
Interceptions.
And he did that 3 times. Eli Manning was one of the most turnover-prone quarterbacks I've ever seen. And granted, in one of those years, he won the Super Bowl. So I'll give you that there.
To make an omelet, you got to crack a few eggs.
To make an omelet, you do got to crack a few eggs. But point being, Eli Manning at no point in his career was a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. I don't know how that's Hall of Fame worthy. Eli Manning, a guy who never received an MVP vote, was never top 5 in MVP voting, never made an All-Pro team. During Eli Manning's career, you know who made an All-Pro team? Carson fucking Palmer. Carson Palmer was a quarterback bust, and he made an All-Pro team on Eli Manning's watch. He's just, if it was the Hall of Moments, he is a great case. He had Hall of Fame worthy moments. 2 playoff runs, 2 Super Bowls, sure, great moments. Eli Manning's overall career is just not Hall of Fame worthy.
What do you consider the objective of the NFL Hall of Fame being?
To be one of the best players in NFL history.
Well, the Hall of Fame itself, like as you know, an idea.
The Hall of Fame is a memorial for the greatest players in NFL history.
Not only greatest players, it's about the story of the NFL through and through, right? You tell that story from start to close.
But if it's just about the story, then every Super Bowl winning quarterback should be a Hall of Famer. Nick Foles should be in there.
No, but that's not true because Odell's glove. Odell, great player, one of my favorite player growing up. His gloves are in the Hall of Fame for just being a.
That's different though. That's different though than having memorabilia in the Hall of Fame and actually being a Hall of Famer and getting the gold jacket.
For the moments, right? For the moments, they have that section designated in the Hall of Fame.
Right. I'm sure the helmet catch ball. I'm sure that's in there.
For the players that are in. First off, quarterback, most important position in all of sports. We can agree on that.
Yes.
New York Giants, one of the top 5 most storied franchises in all of sports. We can agree on that. Or all of football.
All football, yes.
Yes. The greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady. We can agree on that.
Yes.
The greatest coach of all time, Bill Belichick. We'd agree on that.
Yes.
So in that tenure of the last, 2 decades of sports, right? While Eli wasn't, he might have had one top 5 year from a quarterback perspective throughout the 17-18 that he played.
Yeah.
But throughout that tenure, he made runs.
2 runs.
He knocked off the GOAT in coach, quarterback twice. And you can't tell the story of the NFL without Eli's name being mentioned, without Eli being a major component of that story.
I agree with that, and I'm gonna end with this because we're kind of going in circles a little bit. The same point I'm making. If it's all about the story of the NFL and it's all about beating the GOAT, Nick Foles is a fucking Hall of Famer. Because you know what?
But Nick Foles doesn't have the stats.
Nick
the combination
Foles, Nick
of
Foles
stats.
Super Bowl versus the GOAT. Nick Foles actually went toe-to-toe with the GOAT, dropping 50-something points. What was it? 400 yards, 4+ touchdowns. Eli Manning, he put up 17 points and 21 points.
We can get into another debate about that.
Super Bowl. Eli Manning's defenses were the MVP of those Super Bowls. Nick Foles actually went in there into the Super Bowl and outplayed the GOAT, outplayed Tom Brady.
They're the Patriots' best defensive player on the bench for disagreement with the head coach. So that if he's in that game, we saw it in the Seahawks.
That's the greatest coach of all time, he said.
You said it too.
Right.
You said it too.
So he knows what he was doing.
No, it was no.
He knows what he was doing.
We can see the past few years of Bill. He's a petty son of a gun.
He is.
He is. And Malcolm Butler shows up late to one practice leading up to the Super Bowl. You bench him. You bench your best defensive player for it. And
maybe he wasn't the best anymore. Maybe he knew what he was doing. He's the GOAT.
Well, clearly
He's
not when Nick
coach.
Foles puts up 400+ yards on it. But
that's my GOAT, Big Dick Nick, forever and always.
All right.
Great job.
So I'm here with Carter, and of course, Carter's here at a Giants tailgate telling me that Eli Manning is not a top 50 player in NFL history. And let me just tell you right now, that is the most insane statement I've ever heard in my entire life. And I'll tell you one thing right now. You can't write the history of the NFL without the name Eli Manning. Why? Because 2 times he beat the greatest of all time, Tom Brady. So, 2 rings, top 10 all-time in passing yards. It's not even a conversation. Eli's easily top 50.
All right, first, 1 Super Bowl or 1 catch away from not winning 1 Super Bowl. The only stat he's ever allowed in is interceptions and consistency. You have to be consistent to be a good NFL player. You can't win 1 Super Bowl with a super team, and you have to be consistent.
Yeah. Okay. I get what you're saying there, and the interceptions argument's valid. That's the only knock on Eli throughout his career. I'll say this, though. You could say the one catch away from not winning the Super Bowl, regardless of anything, it happened. That catch happened. That play happened. That's one of the greatest plays, if not the single greatest play in NFL history, which is why I say, like, just moments alone, Eli Manning is top 50 easily because you can't talk about NFL history without talking about a guy that kept Tom Brady from winning 9
All right.
Super Bowls.
So I'm going to bring up an example of someone that's not ever won a Super Bowl, but it's definitely top 50, Dan Marino. Like, someone cannot win a Super Bowl, but they have to have key pieces around them. Like,
Yeah.
if someone spends all their money on just a quarterback, they can't have a superstar or anyone to carry them to a Super Bowl.
Okay, so I can make that argument back, though, because for a lot of Eli Manning's career, he wasn't surrounded with the right pieces. He wasn't
And that's
given
why
a
he
great
didn't win a
offensive
Super
line.
Bowl.
Okay, but he still ends up winning 2 of them. He did. He did that. And I agree that Dan Marino's greater all time, even though he doesn't have a Super Bowl. Dan Marino's one of the best passers ever. But you can't take away the 2 Super Bowls from Eli Manning because they happened. And he had some of the greatest playoff performances from a quarterback that we've ever seen in our lives. Well, at least that I've ever seen. You weren't alive for one of them, I'm assuming, maybe 2 of them. But I'm just saying, sorry, but it's the truth. You didn't get the chance to watch the real GOAT in action.
And when Eli Manning won the Super Bowl, he was 9-8 that season, so it's not like
9-7, but yes, continue.
9-7. So he wasn't good or at least his team wasn't good that season.
They had injuries on the defensive side of the ball, but yes.
But that defense definitely carried them in that Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl game, you could argue maybe, but getting to that Super Bowl, Eli Manning had the greatest stretch on the road of any playoff quarterback possibly ever.
And who did he beat?
He beat the Niners. He beat the Packers. Those are 2 of the best teams in the NFL, one of which 15-1, by the way. Eli has some of the greatest playoff performances ever on the road. So you got to give him credit where it's due, though. You got to go educate yourself on some Eli Manning football, bro.
Just because you have to look at he turned the ball over way too much.
Yeah.
And he just had too many greats around him.
When the lights were the brightest, he didn't turn the ball over. He made the plays necessary.
Yeah.
And you see those gloves you got on there? You see that logo you got on there? He beat that team a couple times, actually.
Yeah, and that's why I'm bringing up consistency. You have to be consistent. You have to, like Tom Brady winning 7 Super Bowls. We all know that he was consistent. He was good all the time. But then Eli Manning, he may have been good 2, 3, 4 seasons. And then those seasons were just the things that shoot him up.
Okay. Good call. No, he did cook. This is funny. Way to be.
I'm here with Justin, and Justin thinks Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback to ever play, and I'm honestly flabbergasted of why you would even think that. I don't even think he's top 2.
Okay.
First of all.
That's fair. I think it depends on what you're considering, because here's what I'll say. Touchdown passes to first-round draft picks. Think about this. Touchdown passes to first-round draft picks. How many touchdown passes to first-round draft picks do you think Peyton Manning has?
Like 50?
293.
Shit. Okay.
How many touchdown passes to first-round draft picks do you think Eli Manning has?
Based off that number, I'll say like 100.
135.
Jeez.
How many touchdowns to first-round draft picks do you think Brett Favre had?
200.
127.
Jeez.
How many did Tom Brady have?
100. I'll keep
105.
going. Wow.
How many did Drew Brees have?
No idea.
104. Dan Marino had 84. Fran Tarkenton had 74. Ben Roethlisberger had 69. Phillip Rivers, 35. How many do you think Aaron Rodgers had to first-round draft picks?
How many?
1. Who do you think it was 2?
That's ball knowledge right there. Mercedes Lewis was his only first-round touchdown pass.
I thought it was Jimmy Graham, but it might have been Mercedes Lewis. Either way, it was at the end of their life they were basically at the end of their NFL life when they. So here's my theory. My theory is that Rodgers made 3rd and 4th round and 5th round wide receivers look like ballers, look like Hall of Famers. Jordy Nelson goes to any other team, and I don't think he's nearly what he was with Aaron Rodgers. But if Aaron Rodgers gets Randy Moss, a Justin Jefferson, these first-round studs, maybe it's a whole different ballgame.
But maybe does he win 7 Super Bowls? Like
maybe
it's
he
not,
does.
Okay, we're not
The Packers
jumping from
never
1
drafted.
to 7.
The Packers never drafted. I just think it's a crazy statistic when you look at Peyton Manning, 293, Aaron Rodgers 1.
So I agree. It's definitely crazy that the Packers never went out of their way to spend the draft capital needed to win more. But there's no way that Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are getting to the amount. Because first of all, you had the Tom Brady, the GOAT, the greatest quarterback of all time, winning those Super Bowls in the time that Aaron Rodgers supposedly was the best quarterback in the league.
With nothing but first-round skill players all around him.
So we could go back and forth about talent, but Tom Brady's just flat out greater. I'll even go further and I'll say Patrick Mahomes is greater than Aaron Rodgers as well, just based off of what he's done in his career, in his 7-year career so far, making the Super Bowl 5 times, winning 3.
How many first-round draft picks do you think he's thrown to?
I have no idea.
Probably a lot. I don't know the number off the top of my head.
His best receiver, Tyreek Hill, was like a 4th round draft pick. Same as Devontae. You know, he made him who he is.
What was Kelsey?
Kelsey's a 3rd round pick.
Was he a 3rd round pick?
He was not a 1st round pick.
Well, that might be. I do think Andy Reid runs a creative offense, and this is where I would just simply say I actually think it's really hard for us to know who the best quarterback of all time is because it so matters the scheme you're in. Look at Baker Mayfield this year, how he's crushing it. But he went to the Browns.
Right.
Terrible.
So you put a lot of quarterbacks into an Andy Reid offense, and they might look not like Patrick Mahomes, but they might look like a top 10
You put
quarterback.
Baker Mayfield in there, he's going to look like a top 3 quarterback, top 5 quarterback.
I'll also say the longevity of Tom Brady is what makes him so great. Like he played in 2 different dynasties with the Patriots and then went to the Bucks and then won another Super Bowl. And that is a testament to, like a LeBron James in my argument with him he would be above Michael Jordan because of how long he's been doing it. Like, yes, his peak, Aaron Rodgers' peak might be higher, maybe talent-wise, and I'll maybe give you that. But Tom Brady's greatness cannot be taken down. You cannot say Aaron Rodgers is
I'm
even
not
close
taking
to his
down.
great.
I'm not taking down Tom Brady's greatness. I'll be clear. I think Tom Brady clearly with the Super Bowls and everything, but a team makes a Super Bowl. I think when you look at a quarterback, look at the longevity of Rodgers today too. He's playing for the Steelers. He's actually having a pretty good year for the Steelers.
He got off to an okay start, just like with the I'm a Jet fan, just like with the Jets last year. The first couple weeks looked promising, and now you go on a couple weeks and you kind of see how old he is, and he's just not performing the way we know Aaron Rodgers is. You could see he's just old. He can't get out the pocket. He's relying on these dink and dunks to his tight ends. Yes, he's one of the best red zone quarterbacks we've ever seen, and he's still doing it that way. But he's not the elite quarterback that Tom Brady was at the same age.
Oh, Brady was relying on dink and dunks at the end. He would throw the ball into the dirt all the time.
I get it, but he was leading to wins. It was leading to actual
that defense,
wins
though,
and tangible.
that defense in Tampa Bay that he had. I mean, they were pretty good too.
Do you see how much money the Steelers are spending on the defense in Pittsburgh? Like they have the highest paid defense in the league. You should be able to win with that.
Yeah, that's what they're going to need if they're going to be successful. I mean, look, I just think Rodgers gets most people don't understand. If you're not a Packer fan, I don't think most people understand that the Packers never gave him skill players. Every Packer fan sat and watched draft after draft after draft, watching and waiting for us to pick up a running back or a wide receiver in the 1st or 2nd round, and we never did. We always picked up an offensive lineman or someone in our secondary or a linebacker. And look, those led to some really good picks, but at the same time, and even the year we got Jordan Love, it was like they gave up on Rodgers at that point, which, I mean, obviously Love's paying off now, but at the time it was really a head scratcher because we knew he needed that kind of elite level. You know, I think when we picked up Love, we could have, picked up CeeDee Lamb instead. And like, imagine him paired with Lamb. I mean,
are you trading those couple years of Rodgers and Lamb for what you have now in Love?
I think at that point it was too late. I think at that point it was too late because the front office had already kind of made that stake.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I mean, I just think Rodgers gets slept on when, especially in the Peyton Manning Rodgers comparison, because Manning had so many weapons. Reggie Wayne, he had
So there's
Marvin
an
Harrison,
argument. That
he had
I like
Edgerrin
that.
James, he had Marshall Faulk, he
Yeah.
had like Hall of Fame skill players around him. I'm curious, who has been around Rodgers, that's going to ultimately be a Hall of Famer. I mean, I think, look, Devontae Adams is probably going to go to. I don't know that Nelson goes to the Hall of Fame. I hope he does, but I don't know that he does. I mean,
Devontae's Devontae.
Devontae's Devontae. I mean, I think he'll probably get there, but I mean, you look at all those people that I just listed on the Colts, and it's like those are all
Hall
probably
of
first
Famers.
ballot Hall of Famers. So
Yeah.
it's like when you have that kind of skill around you, that changes the type of quarterback you have to be because you have so much to rely on. I just think we watched Rodgers single-handedly a lot of times do it himself, and I just think some other quarterbacks have had much better situations. So maybe he's not the best of all time, but I don't think we'll ever know because I don't think he had the skill players that a lot of the others had around him.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate it.
All right, I'm here with
Eli.
And Eli thinks that Eli Manning should no doubt be in the Hall of Fame. So, Eli, you have the floor. Tell me why.
Yeah, just to start off, I mean, the simple answer is he beat the best Patriots team twice. I think also you can't rewrite the history of the NFL without Eli.
All right. You got me there. You definitely can't rewrite the history of the NFL without Eli, but you can't rewrite the history of the NFL without Mario Manningham. Should Mario Manningham be in the Hall of Fame?
No, I
David
think,
Tyree, should he be in the Hall of Fame?
No, I mean, Eli threw those, so we'll start with that. But I think also it goes beyond just the Super Bowls, like Walter Payton Man of the Year. Now even past his playing career, he's all over TV, NFL Network, shows everywhere. Like, you can't talk about the NFL or even, the better part, the playoffs. Like, I think Eli also leads the NFL for passing yards in a playoff run. So I think both times he was up there with those stats as well.
So, in my opinion, Eli Manning had Hall of Fame moments. Won 2 Super Bowls, 2 of the best playoff runs I've ever seen. I can't debate that.
Definitely.
Eli Manning did not have a Hall of Fame career. He has a career record of 500 on the dot, 117 and 117. Eli Manning led the league in interceptions 3 times. And the thing about Eli Manning, and I know the rebuttal to this, is he played in one of the best quarterback eras ever. Eli Manning was never a top 5 quarterback in the sport at any single point in his career. Never finished top 5 in MVP voting, never made an All-Pro team. Guys like Carson Palmer made an All-Pro team on Eli's watch while Eli was playing. And he never won a playoff game outside of those 2 playoff runs. He was honestly underwhelming for the most part, aside from those 2 playoff runs. They had some great teams, and they came up short. I think back to 2016 with Odell and them, and they couldn't win a playoff game. Eli Manning came up short more times than he came up clutch.
Which, that's a great point, too. So you brought up Manningham and you brought Tyree. Were those guys, ever the top receiver in the NFL, or was Eli doing it with guys that, necessarily aren't, all-time greats? You could say, his best receiver ever is Odell, and that was even the end of his career.
I definitely agree with that. Eli definitely didn't have top-line offensive talent, but also I could spin that against you and say Eli played with probably one of the best defenses we've seen in the 2000s in this century. That 2007 defense, that's what won them the Super Bowl. I mean, Eli and the Giants, they put up 17 points. Did Eli go toe-to-toe with Tom Brady, the GOAT, or did the Giants' defense go toe-to-toe with Tom Brady, the GOAT, holding him to 14 points? The defense was the MVP of that Super Bowl, not Eli Manning.
I mean, they won, though, so yes, you're right, they only scored 17, but they only needed 15 to win then, right? So if they had 14, he did what he had to win. He's not going to go out and score 40. That wasn't his thing, right? I only remember a few games where I was watching Eli, the Saints game against Breeze the one time was a good example.
All-time game.
All-time game, yeah. Eli wasn't that, I'm going to go out and just score 45 points every game. He did what he had to win those games, and I think that goes to it, too. You want to talk, we talked on the Saints, but Drew Brees is kind of a compiler in that aspect, too. And I think that's why also it's the Hall of Fame, not the Hall of Stats.
I agree. I mean, he definitely had some great moments. I just think over a 16-year career, only having 2 years that are really noteworthy, that's not Hall of Fame worthy to me.
I get it. Like I'm not gonna disagree with you on that, but like those 2 runs were pretty great. Like how many guys are 2-time Super Bowl MVPs? Like that's probably the pinnacle other than winning the trophy.
Nick Foles beat the GOAT. Is Nick Foles a Hall of Famer?
No.
There you go. Appreciate you, bro. All right, I'm here with
Deshaun, Green Bay Packers fan, soon to be owner.
and Deshaun, Green Bay Packers fan, soon to be owner, thinks that Jordan Love is a top 10 quarterback, and I just have to disagree. Deshaun, tell me why you think that way.
So all I do is it's the eye test. It's the tape. It's the throws he makes. He makes a lot of bad decisions. Who doesn't? He's not a young quarterback, but his playing experience is still on the younger side. So I believe you cannot. Can you name clearly 10 quarterbacks better?
I think I can, and I just want to, before I get into my top 10, I do want to say, though, you mentioned the eye test.
The eye test.
And you mentioned
The throws.
he doesn't make the throws. He doesn't make the best decisions. I think of the throw against the Panthers into triple coverage. I think about the other one against the Panthers in the back of the end zone where he threw it to, I think that was Mike Jackson with no one else around. Jordan Love is just too erratic. He's just too... I give you, there are moments on tape where it's like, this guy could be the greatest quarterback to ever play this sport, honestly. That's what I get sometimes from the eye test. But there's a lot of, this guy has no idea what he's doing.
I want to say that because he knows how good he is. He knows the talent, and he takes chances. I will 100% rather a quarterback take chances to try to be conservative, knowing what the talent he is. He's a 50 million plus quarterback for a reason.
That's fair, but there's times where that loses you guys games sometimes. And
Yeah, but all right, so let's name the times. But the bad decisions. Okay, the 49ers game, the last drive, okay, that was a bad decision. He tried to throw a cross body to the whole other side. Let's be honest, Greenlaw made a great play. Honestly, not 8 times out of 10, Greenlaw's not catching an interception. In my opinion, he's not that good. He's overrated. But I feel like that's just a great play by the defense. And I feel like,
but aside from that moment though, that was a dog shit game overall from Jordan Love. Jordan Love and Brock Purdy were literally having an ass off.
Yeah,
of who could be more ass.
that is true. That's the
and
middle.
Jordan Love lost actually he won the ass off. He was more ass. That was on both sides, one of the worst quarterback performances in a playoff game, like overall by both quarterbacks I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I could agree, but you still gotta understand though, the weapons we have are. All right, so I understand that we get a lot of hype because we have these young receivers, we have a whole bunch of number 2s. But when you really look at it, bro, where you're not having that number 1 wide receiver, bro, and it's not somebody you can really trust, it's really hard. So I feel like this is like really Jordan Love carrying this team. And you gotta also think about we had injuries too. Who was we missing? We was missing
Tucker Kraft, Jordan Reed.
Yeah, Tucker Kraft, Jordan, Jaden Reed. We have O-line issues. Like our O-line's not the best. Coach can be too conservative sometimes. I feel like he's a top 10 quarterback. Can you name me 10?
All right. You stop me when I say someone you think Jordan Love's better than. We'll do it like that. Pat
Okay.
Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Matthew Stafford, Jaden Daniels.
Ooh!
Jaden Daniels has played 1 year and won more playoff games than Jordan Love. He has the it factor to be able to win the big game, which I don't think you could argue me on this. We haven't seen that from Jordan Love. We haven't seen him be able to go out and win the big game. And that's one of the most important things for a quarterback. I mean, I'm sitting here before you came on arguing with people about should Eli Manning be in the Hall of Fame, and all they tell me is Eli Manning won the big game. That's what matters when you're evaluating quarterbacks. And Jaden Daniels in his 1 year proved that. Jordan Love.
I'm saying proved it against who though? Jordan Love had to play. Let me name these 3 people. I believe 12-win Cowboys upset in the Cowboys home stadium. Then we played the 49ers who went on to play for the Super Bowl, and so we lost there, another underdog, and then we played the Eagles as another underdog. So he's been an underdog in 3 of the playoffs, correct?
Yes.
Close game in all 3, right? Except for the one we won, that was a blowout.
Were those real close games though, or were they those were fake close games?
All right, you
the
were close.
final, you know it.
Okay,
as a
okay,
fan.
okay.
The final score was close. Those games weren't close.
All right, let me change it. Competitive.
Yes.
Competitive.
Sure.
All right, who did Jada Davis beat?
Beat Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers, who have shown year in and year out they could beat everyone, and they were an underdog. Jaden Daniels was an underdog.
And who was hurt? Wait, was context to everything. Who was hurt for the Buccaneers?
Chris Godwin was out,
Okay.
and then he went on to beat the Lions.
All right. The fraud lines that nobody trusts. We could all agree the Lions are frauds.
Yes,
Okay.
but if the argument is Jordan Love lost games where he was the underdog and he was supposed to lose, Jaden Daniels was the underdog in those games as well. Jaden Daniels was a heavy underdog against the Lions.
True.
Heavy underdog. They were like 13-point underdogs in that
true.
game. Against the Buccaneers, they were underdogs. They were on the road. Did it on the road both times, too.
True.
And he didn't just beat the Lions. He dicked them down.
No, true,
He bet them
100%.
over, so.
I hate the Lions. I'll gladly hate watching the Lions.
Right,
I'm
exactly.
happy now.
Exactly.
But when we talk about the players' success, look who we're playing against. Though we're playing against great teams, and I understand. I wish we could play the Buccaneers and Lions. I think we do that. We're going to Super Bowl. But I'm saying, but we just run into great teams.
Right, and then after that, though, it's just like you said, the eye test. I think Jaden Daniels could do everything that Jordan Love can.
I'm sorry. I don't think he's a passer like Jordan Love. I'm sorry.
I think he
throws down to the buckets, and you gotta understand about it. When you put it on paper, all healthy, you don't think Jaden Daniels have better weapons?
I mean, he really just had Terry and no one else last
And
year.
then who do we have?
You guys have a more. I agree that Terry's like better than any guy you guys have, but like as a collective, I think your guys' overall weapons room is probably better and deeper. I mean, he was out there throwing to Jamison Crowder in playoff games.
No,
bro.
not true. Not
the
true. I
corpse
get
of
that.
Zach Ertz.
But it's just O-line not protected. We had practice squad players on defense. You gotta understand this defense. Packers. We had probably in my lifetime had two good defenses. This defense has Keyshawn Nixon as our CB1.
Oh, I agree. That's
We
a whole
have
other
Nate
problem.
Hobbs and Corey Valentine as a Carrington Valentine as our CB2.
No, I agree. That's a whole other problem. I'm with you there.
The pressure to say, okay, my defense he knows his defense is trash. He just doesn't want to say it. But my defense is trash. We have Michael Parsons. He's saving us. But he can really do so much when you can just throw it up, and then our DBs are just trash.
Yeah, but I honestly think in those playoff games that they came up short. I think the defense did their part. I think last year they played the Eagles, like you said, competitively.
Yeah, competitively.
And it was competitive because the Eagles didn't score a bunch of points. I think the Packers defense did their part. I think the offense and Jordan Love, they didn't show up. They didn't do their part.
Yeah, true. That because
then-
we are inconsistent as a team. The defense play good, the offense plays bad. Just like
Right.
the last night with the Eagles.
Right.
But I do feel like okay. So you named 6. Okay. So can you name 4 more?
I think Dak's better than Jordan Love.
Dak.
I think Dak's better than Jordan Love.
So we had a draft right now. You're taking Dak 1, then Jordan Love 2.
Yes. Yeah, I
That
think
is
Dak's a better quarterback than Jordan
Insane,
Love.
crazy. That is insane.
I think Dak's
crazy.
a better quarterback than Jordan Love.
I respect Dak, but he has not been in Jordan Love. Jaden Daniels not been in Jordan Love. Okay, so that's 3. That's 7.
I think Baker's better.
Oh,
Baker got that dog in it. Jordan Love's a little
Recency
puppy. Jordan Love is a
bias.
puppy.
Recency
Baker has that
bias.
dog. Baker.
Nah, Baker's definitely a dog. Baker's definitely a dog, but I don't believe he's Jordan
Jordan
Love.
Love's a puppy.
But I'm sorry, but with the arm talent, I know that
Baker has one of the strongest arms in the league.
yeah, strongest arm, but can you put the ball anywhere, or are you just throwing the ball up to make
I
empty
mean, these
catches?
last 2 years, Baker has shown to put the ball anywhere.
Yeah, but have you seen the last 2 games though?
I mean, if it's just about the last 2 games, look at your boy Jordan Love.
Yeah,
He
that
lost
is-
to the Carolina Panthers. Come on.
Yeah, he got me there. He got me there.
All right. Who else? I'm probably taking. Oh, Drake May. Got to take Drake
Okay,
May over
Drake
Jordan
May.
Love. And then
Recency bias, but Drake May, okay.
let's see. Jaxson Dart.
Okay, we're naming glorified running backs at QB, but okay. Might as well take Jalen Hurts.
And that's my 10. That's my 10. All
right, so-
we're wrapping it up. We went. All right, I'm here with
Peter Langoni.
Peter. Thinks that Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer. Peter, tell me why.
I mean, straight up, there's not too many people with 2 Super Bowl MVPs. You know, regardless of record, that's why everybody wants to argue. Guy beat the greatest of all time twice in the Super Bowl. Not a lot of people can say that, you know.
Nick Foles beat the greatest of all time in the Super Bowl. Is he a Hall of Famer?
No.
Okay.
Okay, but I mean, you got to think about it. Nick Foles didn't beat the 17-0 Patriots with Randy Moss and those guys. You know,
Did Eli Manning beat the 17-0 Patriots, or did the Giants defense beat the 17-0
the
Patriots?
Giants defense didn't have a game-winning drive on the Patriots defense. You know,
That's true. I just think Eli Manning was mediocre for 14 out of his 16-year career. Yes, he had two of the greatest playoff runs of all time, but honestly, Eli Manning, first overall pick, Manning bloodline, Archie Manning, Peyton Manning. Eli Manning's career was underwhelming and just isn't Hall of Fame worthy. Did he have Hall of Fame moments? Absolutely. Eli Manning never won a playoff game outside of those two playoff runs. Eli Manning, the only stat that he's ever led the league in is interceptions, and he did that 3 times. And Eli Manning has a career 500 record, 117 and 117 on the dot. He's mediocre.
People like to ignore the playoff runs he had. You know, you talk about all the negatives you want. 2 Super Bowl MVPs, it's tough to argue with that.
It's definitely tough to argue, but I mean, I could spin that back on you. You talk about playoff success. Eli Manning didn't win a playoff game outside of those 2 years. You look at other Hall of Fame quarterbacks. You look at Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees. It was a lock. Tom Brady. Those guys went into the playoffs and at least won 1 game every single year.
All right, but let me ask you, how many Super Bowl MVPs does Drew Brees have?
Not as many as Eli.
Okay, how many Super Bowl MVPs does Rodgers have?
Not as many as
Okay.
Eli.
All right.
If Super Bowl, we should call it the Hall of Super Bowl MVPs then.
Okay, but we're judging. You judge success. Would Brady be undisputably the greatest of all time without 7 Super Bowls? Say he had 1, would he be undisputably?
No,
the greatest of all time?
absolutely not. That goes into it, but it's a
Okay.
magnitude of other things that go into it as well, such as his longevity, playing into his 40s,
yeah, absolutely.
leading in every single statistical category, basically. Like it's a plethora of other things. Because if your argument is the Super Bowl MVPs, you ask me how many does Rodgers have, how many does Brees have? Are you taking Eli Manning over any of those guys?
Yeah.
You're not.
Probably not.
You're
No,
not.
you're right,
Okay,
you're right,
so
you're
then
right.
that argument goes out the window,
I
right?
wouldn't take Eli over Brees or Rodgers, but you judge success off of in every sport. You judge success off of championships. That's like you can go into the LeBron and Jordan debate with that off of championships, whatever you want. Eli's 2-0 in the Super Bowl. You know, if you're going up, you can throw around Brees and Rodgers, but if you go off of championships, Eli's got more, regardless of defense. And
Eli went to the playoffs 6 times. Only 2 of those times did he win a playoff game.
I just think, you know, you got to go off of super. Like, would you rather win? If you're a fan, would you rather your team win 2 Super Bowls and not win any other playoff games, or make a couple playoff runs, lose in the AFC Championship, but only win 1 Super Bowl?
Well, that's different, though, because that's from a team, a fan perspective. Obviously, if I'm a Giant fan, Eli Manning is the GOAT of all GOATs. He changed our franchise forever. But the Hall of Fame is about individuals and your individual success. Yes, winning matters, championships matter in that, but it's a magnitude of everything, the Hall of Fame. And all in all, Eli Manning's career just isn't a Hall of Fame career.
I got to disagree with that. You can't. Probably greatest Giants quarterback of all time. You can't disagree.
100%. 100% the greatest Giants quarterback of all time. Not a Hall of Famer. I appreciate you, bro. You did great.